Unsealed. New Epstein docs just dropped. I want to show you what it looks like from the court docket. This is Guffrey versus Maxwell, Southern District of New York. We covered a lot of the Ghislaine Maxwell stuff, especially when she was on trial. We went in depth as she was being prosecuted as a defendant, but this is a separate case. This is a civil case. It was settled some time ago, and now we're getting unsealing requests being granted. And this is everything that dropped on the docket. So let me just share this with you. All of these different exhibits. Boom. A lot of stuff. It was just under 1,000 pages in total. We've got the full consolidated document up that we will look through and see what is inside. But as you can see, because it is such a monstrous, massive document that is 943 pages, it just goes on and on and on. And so we'll do a Control F and we'll bounce around. We'll see what's going on with Clinton and some others. But somebody who did a great summation of this and has gone through a lot of the documents already is our friend Techno, somebody I recommend you follow at Techno on the X platform. He does great reports. We got the documents. Here are the most important John Does inside. It says we're going to start with Bill Clinton, John Doe number 36, whose deposition was essential to provide info on the relationship with Maxwell and Epstein. So Clinton's the big one. Now here's one excerpt. It says in a 2011 interview, Miss Guffrey mentioned Bill Clinton close relationships with Epstein. Now, while she made no allegations about any illegal actions by Bill, Miss Maxwell, Ghislaine, in her deposition raised Miss Guffrey's comments about President Clinton as one of the, quote, obvious lies to which she was referring in her public statement that formed the basis of this suit. Highlighted, it says, apart from Maxwell and Mr. Epstein, former President Clinton is a key person who can provide information about Epstein, about his close relationship with the defendant, Maxwell, and Mr. Epstein, and disprove Miss Maxwell's claim. Okay, so Bill Clinton, highly involved. Guffrey said she was abused by everybody at the behest of Ghislaine and Epstein, and now Clinton is a part of the cog. Here's testimony from one witness. Question. Let me back up. Hold on a minute here. Let me back up. This is kind of serious. Do you know if Bill Clinton was a friend of Jeffrey Epstein? Answer. I knew he had dealings with Bill Clinton, and I did not know that they were friends until I read the Vanity Fair article about them going to Africa together. Did Jeffrey ever talk to you about Bill Clinton? Answer. He said one time that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls. Now, we already knew that about Bill. I mean, he cigared an intern, you know, and all the things. It's like, oh gosh. So that's nothing really new, but we know that they're close. Now, they say there are more batches of documents that have not been uploaded yet, so more stuff will be coming down the pike. It says many documents relate to John Does who were merely witnesses or doctors, as we already saw. So we covered the unsealing order from the judge and her basis for why she was going to unseal a bunch of this stuff. And we saw when we read it originally that it was all kind of not that interesting. Like, okay, we already heard about that. Already heard about this one. A lot of people have been spreading a lot of garbage out there, a lot of fake posts and stuff. But here they say there will be additional disclosures coming out down the pike. Now, Prince Andrew was someone else we'll take a look at. Maxwell and Epstein put Prince Andrew's hand on minors' bodies. Andrew cupped the chest of someone. Question. When you got back into the house, what happened to you? I walked into the front door and Ghislaine stuck her head over the grand staircase. Hey, she asked me to come upstairs to the living room. And can you describe the living room? Oh, it was very large, very formal. And Jeffrey and her and Virginia and Prince Andrew were there. Prince Andrew, royalty. Right. What were they all doing when you came in? Just socializing. I don't remember them doing an activity. It was just them being around together. Gross. We have another one. The witness was saying, you know, I just remember someone suggesting a photo and they told us to get on the couch. And so Andrew, the prince, and Virginia, they sat on the couch and they put the puppet on her lap. And so then I sat on Andrew's lap, and I believe on my own volition, and they took the puppet's hand and they put it on Virginia's chest. And so Andrew put his on mine. How fun and frolicky. Isn't it so fun? It's disgusting. These people are degenerates and they're just in the middle of exploitation. It's not funny. It's not a joke, but they're joking about it because they're disgusting. Jeffrey Epstein admitted, these are underage girls. Jeffrey Epstein admitted to one witness that the allegations against him were true. His excuse? Oh, they lied about their age. He couldn't tell. Jeffrey Epstein never told you that he knowingly had contact with an underage girl, correct? Objection, witness says. When I asked him if the accusations were true after I spoke with the police, he said yes, they're true, but they lied about their age. I thought she was 18, I swear. Who else was a visitor to the mansion? Michael Jackson was there, says Technofog. Did you meet anybody famous when you were there with Jeffrey? I met Michael Jackson. Oh, really? You did? You're kidding. What was he like? And where was that? That was at his Palm Beach residence, at Jeffrey's house in Palm Beach. Did you massage Michael Jackson? No, he's not into young girls. I did not. Obviously, he's into the other gender. Now, victim Virginia Guffrey stated she also slept with this billionaire. This guy's called Tom Pritzker. He apparently is the chairman of Hyatt Hotels. Whew. So this guy. So to your knowledge, you've only met with one foreign president? Question. To my knowledge, yes. At this time, yeah, just one foreign president was part of the entourage, part of the ring. And is there anything that might change your knowledge at a different time? Well, if I were to see more photos of other people, I mean, I've been able to distinguish the majority of people that I've been lent out to, but who's to say there's not more? Don't even know. All right, so if I were to ask you the question about how many times you and Tom were together, do you know what that question means? She says, I think so. It sounds easy. Like, how many times did we sleep together? Sure. Okay, so what is the answer to that question? Well, I believe I was with Tom once. Okay, Tom one time. Here's Thomas Pritzker, Aspen Strategy Group, executive chairman of the Hyatt Hotel. Yikes. Okay, so more allegations. She said that she, Virginia Guffrey, was trafficked by Epstein and Maxwell to Prince Andrew. Maxwell directed her to have intercourse with billionaire hedge fund manager Glenn Dubin, who we've already heard a lot about here, I think during the trial itself. I think Mrs. Dubin may have even testified. Okay, please give the name of a person that Ghislaine Maxwell directed you to have intercourse with. Who was that person? She says, oh, Prince Andrew, the royal prince. Okay, who else? Well, as a whole, they both trafficked me to people. It was under both of their direction. So it's not easy to just say Ghislaine. When I say they, I mean them both. Okay, well, I need you to say a time when Ghislaine directed you to have intercourse with another person. So can you please tell me to whom Ghislaine asked you to do that with? Glenn Dubin. Wow, another billionaire, hedge fund manager with lots of money. Magician David Copperfield was also a guest over there. They were described as friends. Copperfield performed magic tricks. Have you ever met David Copperfield? Yes. Do you recall when you initially met him? Yeah. Can you tell me what that was? Yeah, sure. Someone called me from the house and said that he would be there, and if I wanted to come have dinner, then I could meet him. I mean, what happened at that dinner, if anything? He did some magic tricks. Oh, yeah? Like this? See this? See this thumb? Watch this. Oh, how's that happening? Oh, how about that, David Copperfield? Got nothing. Did you observe David Copperfield to be a friend of Jeffrey Epstein's? Yes. Did Copperfield ever discuss Jeffrey's involvement with young girls with you? He questioned me if I was aware that girls were getting paid to find other girls. And we know how that works. You want to make some money? You want to come hang out with these rich people? Ugh. Okay, so here's our write-up on the latest document, our summary and everything. The link is in the bio. And so make sure you're following Technofog. He does some very good work. If you want to read the rest of this thread, you can go follow him on the X platform at Technofog with an underscore in there. And of course, your boy will repost that so you can follow that as well. But there is more in the document. And so let me just show you what is inside so you can see it. But this is the cover letter. It says, Dear Judge, pursuant to your request, your order on December 18th, you said we got to unseal all this. The filing of these documents will be unsealed on a rolling basis until completed. So there may be more stuff coming. This filing also excludes documents pertaining to those 105, which we don't know who that is, 107, 110, and others, while the court reviews those documents as well. And so you can see it's 943 pages. It is a lot. And so let's just do a Control F, for example, and hit the Clinton. Let's see what Clinton has, where he is in. And you can see there is 73 total Clinton emails, total Clinton references. Here's the first one. This looks like it is an email from Ghislaine Maxwell sent Saturday, January 10th to Philip Barden and Ross. She says, I'm out of my depth. 2015 email. She says, I've already suffered, this is Ghislaine, such a terrible and painful loss. I can't even see what life after press he'll even look like. Statements that don't address all just lead to more questions. What is my relationship to Clinton? What is my relationship to Andrew? And on and on. I need a headspace. Let's rest till Monday. I need headspace. Okay, Ghislaine's freaked out. I stand no legal risk currently on these old charges, but they came back and got you. And what they did to Ghislaine Maxwell, who's a monstrous person, obviously, is insane, right? Like, she's the female who was just like the number two. Like, nobody's been actually charged for using these services. It's crazy, but they lock her up, right? And everybody else who is involved is kind of like, we'll just forget about them. It's gross. All right, so that is just Clinton number one. Here's Clinton number two. Maxwell, here's the question. Have you ever said to anybody, she says, stop right there. I never recruited girls. Let's stop right there. Now break down your question. Okay, this one's getting a little fired up, whoever this person is. Have you ever said to anybody, by girls, we're talking about underage people, okay? You said girls. Are you talking about underage? We're not talking about consensual acts. This is a defamation suit. Now, I can't recollect having a meal with them, but just so we're clear, the allegations that Clinton had a meal on Epstein's island is 100% false. So Clinton never had a meal there. He used to work or still works for Bill Clinton. Have you ever had a relationship with him? Well, we're talking about adult consensual relationships. It's off the record. I'm not asking you what you did with him. I'm asking you if you ever had a relationship with him. Define relationship. You know, somebody you ever had a romantic relationship with or anything like that? Well, what do you mean by romantic? I was friends with Doug, but are you suggesting something more? Well, you defined it. I just said that, are you friends with him? While you were on the trip with Clinton, do you recall staying at these locations? I recollect the trip, but if you're asking me where he stayed, you can see it was a very fast-paced trip, very tiring. And so I can't remember much of it. All right, so that's Clinton. Here's another one. Questions about whether Clinton was friendly with them. What was the purpose of the trip to Thailand between Epstein and Clinton? They went to Thailand. Jonah testified that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls. Was Bill Clinton a friend of Jeffrey Epstein? Objection. Do you know if Clinton was a friend with Epstein? I knew he had dealings with Bill Clinton, but I didn't know that they were friends until we read that article. Clinton likes them young. Here's a list. So name dropping? Yeah. So did you ever meet Kate Blanchett or Leonardo DiCaprio? No. Would you remember if I had? I hope so. Did you meet Cameron Diaz? No. Did you meet Bill Clinton? No. Did you see Clinton on the island? No. Did you see Clinton in the helicopter? No. So whoever this witness is didn't see much of Clinton. You can see here's another note. Looks like it might be from Jeffrey Epstein himself in 2015. It says you can issue a reward to any of Virginia's friends, acquaintance, family that have come forward and help her prove her allegations are false. The strongest is the Clinton dinner. The new version in the Virgin Islands that Stephen Hawking and Patricia Ted participated in an underage orgy. What? That Stephen Hawking participated in an underage orgy to Ghislaine Maxwell. You can issue a reward to Virginia's friends that help her prove that things are false. So anybody who helps me, we can pay them money. And the Clinton dinner is a strong defense, as well as Stephen Hawking's orgy. All right. So we can use those as attack vectors because those are not true, in other words. Clinton global initiatives all over the place. Here's another one. The only remaining witness is Bill Clinton. His deposition is necessary for the following reasons. In a 2011 interview, Guffrey mentioned Clinton and his close relationship with Epstein, said that those are obvious lies that are a part of this lawsuit. Here's some more stuff. And so we can see, right, there's 70, you can see it's all over the place. Introductions and motions. Clinton's name comes up a bunch all over the place. Let's look for Prince Andrew. So here, 51 times he's all over this list. Prince Andrew. Miss Guffrey's accounts concerning being trafficked are to Prince Andrew. What do you want to know about the Prince Andrew incident, they say? So you got a green spiral notebook and there were other names that Ghislaine directed you to have intercourse with, yeah. Where is the original of the photograph that's been widely circulated of you and Prince Andrew? He says, I probably still have that photo. It's not in my possession right now. Virginia, where is it? Probably in some storage boxes. Where's the storage boxes? In Sydney. Where in Sydney? At some family's house. We got the boxes to ship to Australia and they were picked up off the porch and brought to their house, which is where? In Sydney. Where in Sydney? Base Hill. Who lives in that house? Well, it's owned by my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. What are their names? I'm not giving you the names of my nephews. Okay, what's the address of the house? Well, why would you want that? Well, I want to know where the photo is. I'm just telling you where the photo is. And you just told me it's somewhere in Base Hill? Yeah. Where in Base Hill? I can't 100% say where it is. It could be at my house that I presently live in, but I'm not going to give you the address of my nephew's house. When was the last time you saw the photo in person? When I packed and left for America? When you were in Colorado? Yeah. So you had the photograph with you in Colorado? Yeah. What's on the back of the photograph? I'm sorry? Is there anything on the back of the photograph? There's like a date that was printed, but no writing or anything. Okay, does it say where it was printed? I don't believe so. I don't remember. There's just a date on it. It's like my little yellow Kodak camera. Who took the picture? Jeffrey Epstein did. And where did you have it developed? I don't know. Somewhere back in America? Where? I don't know. Palm Beach? I don't know. What is the date of the photograph? I think March 2001. Okay, but that's just off my photographic memory. It could be different. I just think it's March 2001. You have a photographic memory? Wow, that's cool. I'm not saying I have one, but if I look back at the photo and I remember what it says, I think it's March 2001. Did the photograph ever leave your possession for a while? Yeah, I gave it to the FBI. Oh, great. What'd they do with it? I'm surprised it didn't throw up in the shredder. When did you get it back? When they took copies of that? When was that? Oh, 2011. So from 2011 until you left Colorado, it was in your personal possession. Then you gave it to the FBI. Other documents related to this case are in storage boxes? Yeah. All right, so that's Virginia, and you live in Australia now, right? So Prince Andrew's all over the place. Other than asking you to write whatever you remember about Andrew, says, was there any other directions that you should write? Well, she was interested in two things, really, about how Epstein got away with how many counts of child trafficking and how Prince Andrew was involved in it. How did he get away with so many of those counts? What did you write? Well, she asked me to write about Prince Andrew, and I wrote pages for her. And you wrote pages, you get paid for those pages? Well, not for the papers, but you negotiated a deal with Radar Online? No. Have you negotiated a deal with her? No. All right, so you see where this is going. Now, so that's Prince Andrew all over the place, and there's a bunch of additional names in there. And so the documents have been released, but we're not seeing anything that is, groundbreaking or that we weren't expecting. A lot of the same names are in here. You can see the list goes on. It's 943 pages. We're scrolling all the way near to the end here so we can just see what is inside. We got deposition, transcripts are here. A lot of stuff still redacted on these filings. I know there was at least a couple names in here. So did you suffer from this? I did have this. I did have that. So maybe those are not names, but certainly some names are still being kept out of this. So it is a curious development. This will continue to drop. There will be rolling disclosures. And so we'll see if there's anything else interesting inside. I don't think so. I think that this is part of a cleanup operation. We know that the Ghislaine Maxwell trial didn't allow in a ton of evidence, and she's the only person who got prosecuted here. And I actually think that she may ultimately be exonerated on this thing because the DOJ rigged this at the beginning when they gave Jeffrey Epstein an insane plea deal. Like, I actually think Jeffrey Epstein also had immunity that was granted to him by the DOJ and the intelligence companies, and they were trying to clean up after the fact. So I would imagine that they've already got all of the evidence buried that they want to get buried, and the rest of this is just going to be a slow drip of names we've already heard about and stuff we've already seen, mostly. So we'll be here continuing to cover it as well. I encourage you to follow Technofog and others doing some great reporting on this because there's so much to unpack. We'll continue to see drops for the foreseeable future. So we'll be here continuing to cover it, my friends. Thank you for subscribing and joining as we do.